How many times have you made an assumption that's totally ruined your day or your week, only to realize later that you were completely wrong? Yeah, that's never happened to me. Kidding, of course, it's happened to me because I'm human. In fact, 85% of the fears that go through your head never come to fruition. 85%. And so why are we torturing ourselves? Y'all, my name's Eric Feltus, and I help gay men free themselves from shame and build confidence and community. And today we're exploring the third agreement from the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz: don't make assumptions. But first, if you haven't checked out the videos of the first and the second agreements, which are be impeccable with your word and don't take anything personally, then check those out too. I'll drop the links for them in the show notes. And if at any point in time you're watching this series or any of my videos and you think, I totally need help with this, well, first of all, congrats. That's a big step. I mean, acknowledgement is half the battle. But if that's you, then book a free discovery call with me by clicking the link below. Let's see how I can help. Let's talk about this agreement: don't make any assumptions. So when I first came out of the closet and started dating men, I had this unspoken belief that every guy I went on a date with had to like me. You know, if things didn't work out, I assumed it was because I said something wrong, or I wasn't attractive enough, or maybe I wasn't good at dating, or they were a jerk or something, right? I had to attach a story with the why. I actually remember one guy in particular. We had a great first date, or at least I thought we did. You know, we laughed, we connected, and he even said that he wanted to see me again. But then, silence. Days passed. My text went unread. No explanation, just a slow ghosting fade out. And so I replayed that date over and over and over again in my head, wondering what happened between the end of the date and now. He must have fallen off a cliff or died. Oh, wait, no, I saw he posted on Instagram. Then he must just be a jerk. Or maybe I did something wrong, and so on and so on and so on. I had this damaging belief in my head that if I continue to obsess about it and come up with more and more solutions, eventually I will feel better about it. In other words, I had this belief that if I continue to make assumptions, I'm going to somehow feel better. And that's just not how it works. The truth is, I had no idea what was actually going on in his life. Maybe he wasn't emotionally available. Maybe he got back with an ex. Maybe he just wasn't feeling a connection. And all of those are possibilities, but none of them have to do with my worth. And at the end of the day, I'm never really going to know, so it doesn't actually matter. And that realization was liberating. It allowed me to stop creating painful stories in my head and instead approach dating with curiosity rather than insecurity. Instead of assuming that he outright rejected me or that there's something wrong with me, I started seeing dating for what it was: a process of gathering information, a way to see if we were truly aligned rather than just test my desirability. Once I stopped making assumptions, I started dating with confidence. I learned to ask direct questions, to communicate clearly, and to let go of the need to know why someone acted a certain way. And as a result, I attracted healthier connections, people who wanted to choose me rather than leave me guessing. When we stop making assumptions, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We stop taking responsibility for things that are out of our control, and we make room for the kind of relationships we actually deserve. The third agreement from the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz is don't make assumptions. At its core, this agreement is about communication, clarity, and releasing unnecessary suffering. Making assumptions means creating stories in our heads about what other people are thinking, feeling, or intending without actually knowing the truth. When we assume, we often act based on incomplete or inaccurate information, leading to misunderstandings, conflict, and unnecessary pain. As gay men, we often carry wounds from our past, whether from societal rejection, religious shame, or difficult coming out experiences. These wounds can make us especially vulnerable to make assumptions in relationships, friendships, and even professional spaces. In fact, rushing to assume the worst can become an addiction because it's all we know. And we see this disease in all areas of our lives, in dating and relationships. We assume someone isn't interested when they don't text back immediately. We assume a partner is pulling away when they just need space. We assume rejection means something is wrong with us rather than just a misalignment of compatibility. We see this in friendships and community. We assume people don't like us if they don't invite us somewhere. We assume someone is judging us when they're really just having a bad day. We assume our worth is based on external validation, leading to anxiety and comparison. We also see this in family and work. We assume our non-affirming family members must hate us instead of recognizing that their beliefs are limited and that their beliefs are about them and not us. We assume a coworker's tone in an email is passive-aggressive when they might have just been busy. Oh my gosh, when I was a property manager, the number of times I assumed the worst when I got an email from someone, especially when everything was in all caps. So I created this unnecessary hell here on earth, and I would have these fights with these people who were not even angry at me, but I had made the assumption that they were not good. We also assume people should understand our needs without us expressing them. People are not mind readers, yet we assume they are. These assumptions lead to suffering because we end up reacting to things that aren't even true. Instead of seeking clarity, we let our fears and our insecurities take control. So how do we break free from the habit of making assumptions? Here are 5 ways to put this agreement into practice. Number 1, communicate clearly. If you're unsure about something, ask. Instead of assuming someone is losing interest, say, hey, I notice you've been a little quiet lately. Everything okay? If you're feeling left out, talk about it. Instead of assuming your friends don't care, ask. Hey, I saw you went out last night. I'd love to be included next time. Number 2, check your story. When you catch yourself assuming, pause and ask, what's the actual evidence for this assumption? Could there be another explanation? Would I want someone to assume the same about me? 9 times out of 10, the story in your head is worse than reality. Number 3, give people the benefit of the doubt. And honestly, y'all, I think this is more for you than it is for them. Not every unanswered text means rejection. Not every short response means someone is mad at you. Not every action is about you. People have their own lives, struggles, and distractions. Number 4, let go of control. Assumptions often stem from a desire for certainty. We want to know what someone is thinking so we can feel safe. But the truth is, if we can't control other people's thoughts or actions, we're never going to be happy. What we can control is how we respond with curiosity, confidence, and self-worth. And number 5, practice self-compassion. Many of our assumptions are rooted in old wounds. If you assume rejection or abandonment, ask yourself, is this assumption based on the present situation, or is it an old fear resurfacing? Remind yourself that you are worthy, regardless of external validation. Breaking free from assumption takes practice, but it's one of the most freeing things you can do for yourself. Again, for yourself. It allows you to experience life with more ease, communicate with more confidence, and build relationships based on truth rather than fear. When you stop making assumptions, you gain clarity, peace, and self-respect. You learn to navigate life with curiosity instead of insecurity. And most importantly, you step into a reality where your happiness is no longer controlled by the stories in your head. If this episode helped you, comment below and share how you plan to stop making assumptions. And if you want to work on strengthening your confidence in your community, that is why I am here. I'm Eric Feltus. I'm a life coach. I help other gay men free themselves from shame and build confidence and build community. All you need to do is click the link below that says Discovery Call. I'll reach out to you and we'll schedule a free call to see how I can help you. Until next time, peace out.